guys, Mark Fujita here, and welcome to a special episode of Gaming Pipeline where I've taken over. Today on the Gaming Pipeline, I've decided to interview JewWario, Mr. Justin Carmichael, because he was gracious enough to interview me on one of his previous episodes. So I have a lot of questions for him. I'm sure that you guys have a lot of questions for Justin. Let's start with the first question that I'm sure everyone wants to know is, how did you come up with JewWario?
Well, I was a big fan of the game Jew, mostly because I heard about his rock opera, the Mario opera, and I listened to the music. I really dug the music, and I started to go online, and I became a big fan of his. Well, he embraces his Jewness, even though he's not. It's mostly just by birth. He's not very practicing. So maybe I can go with that. He's kind of the game Jew, so that's kind of Mario. Can't do Jew Toadstool, although that was very funny. Jeweegi? I thought, well, okay, who's my favorite character? I always plays Wario because he's big, he's bold, he's everything I'm not, he's brash, and he's got courage. And then okay, JewWario. Hey, and it's got the W in it. Maybe I can make it one W, make it two. I decided to go with the two, and so I bought a hat off of Amazon. I did a little drawing, took it down to somebody who embroiders. She did it. I sewed it onto the hat, and I became JewWario.
So how did you make the transition into reviewing import games?
Well, big fan of other shows and stuff, and I thought, well, what's my niche? I don't want to do something that everybody else has done, and people do crappy games, and people do this, and people do that. I've been importing since 1980, since the INTs and 1990s. And I'm always telling friends about games that they can play, and without knowing Japanese, and okay, well, let's go that. And then it just kind of took off, and I thought, well, what's a game that I was inspired to play by Game Center CX, and my favorite one from that time was Quest of Key. Okay. And I thought, okay, well, yeah, this is really something that people can play without. And then I did a whole review. That's how it started.
Where did Yankee J come from?
From Psychotaku, Tokojuku, and from Jojo no Kimi no Naboken. I've always wanted to kind of do a Noriaki Kakuin cosplay. And so I had gotten a jacket. This was before I even started the shows. And I had the jacket. I even grew my hair out long, and I dyed it, and I had it, kind of pulled into, little flips on the side. And I thought, well, I'll use that jacket. Hey, that's kind of like a schoolboy's jacket. Why don't I make a delinquent? And and he can do the Kunio games that I like. Okay, yeah, so that's how he started. I thought,
so gonna get it.
What if he's my Tyler Durden? And that's why in Kikassia he's storming the castle, but when the goofy part happens, it's not him, because he's not goofy. And Doug was okay with that. That was the thing. He was like, Yankee J falls down. No, Yankee J won't fall down. What? No, JewWario is the goof. And I put on the hat and I did it, and he was like, yeah, you're right. And so it was kind of like a secret little thing there. So now awesome. You guys know.
I was wondering what your acting/film background was.
Well, growing up, I was really quiet, and I kept to myself. But around my family, I always felt like I was very open. I went into high school, once again became fairly closed. Mm-hmm. Always wore a very long scarf because I was a Doctor Who fan. And so I was the geeky nerd nobody wanted to talk to. And in my senior year in high school, I met a guy named John Byrne. We became best friends. He says, you should try out for the musical, for the school musical. And I got the lead. It was The King and The King and I. And I became an extrovert, and I started realizing, wow, I can entertain people. And then I went to Tallahassee in 2000 to work at a TV station. I learned a little bit about lighting, learned a little bit about editing, and I just wanted to do this. Went out, bought a camera, a Canon ZR-800, and went to town.
What was your first import game?
In Nintendo Power, they were even talking about games that were in Japan and how they were changed in America. And I thought, what, they changed games? Really? I called Funko Land, and for a minimal amount, they sent me a box of Famicom games and a honeybee. A Gunhead, Akira, Rockman 2, a lot of text-based games, Final Fantasy 2 and 3. And I liked the Final Fantasy that came out in America, so let me try this one. Oh my gosh, what are these? Went out and bought a Japanese to English dictionary. I'm flipping through this thing. Oh, he's a monk? Oh, okay. Oh, he's a pirate. Oh, okay, and he wasn't a pirate. He was a Viking, but pirate just popped to mind. So I'm just, I'm looking through, and I started getting interested. And I started reading more manga, and then I started getting into Japanese. So really, I had quite a few that I started with.
Have you ever been to Japan?
The entire thing of One Piece is your treasure, and that your treasure is several times your dreams, and I gave up on my dream. I married a wonderful woman, and little did I know she was saving up so that I could live my dream.
Wow.
So she took me to Japan in 2006. We spent 2 weeks. We went to Tokyo, Osaka, Kyoto, Nara. Nara was beautiful. Yeah. Kyoto was beautiful. Osaka was... And Tokyo was so much fun. No, I had a great time in Osaka. We actually had a really good time in Osaka, but it was that was also where we saw our first Yakuza.
What is your top 5 anime?
Gatchaman, because Battle of the Planets was my favorite. Cowboy Bebop, because that's kind of when I started to get kind of back into anime. Golgo 13, The Professional.
Oh, nice.
First one, not Queen Bee. Oh my god, Queen Bee's so... But yes, The Professional. My Neighbor Totoro. Tonari no Totoro. Kiki's Delivery Service. And a lot of you have heard me before, I don't like dubs. And I can watch almost every single Miyazaki film dubbed.
Yeah.
It's Howl's Moving Castle is tough.
And the one
Because Howl is tall, thin, and blonde, and he sounds like the Batman.
will guarantee your safe return.
What are your top 5 games?
See, and that all depends on what mood I'm in. But I can do a top 5 games that I would most like to be like on a desert island.
Oh, okay,
Quest of
yeah,
Key.
we can do that. Oh, Quest of Key.
It's so big, so difficult that sure you can get around certain things in the game, but to get to the end, it's just so challenging. Myst and Riven, I guess those are going to have to be 1, 2, and 3 because they're 2 separate games, even though they're the same series.
We can probably find you a compilation disc that'll keep this one. Yes.
Okay, well, compilation disc. Boom, there we go. So we got 2 games. Didn't mean to do that for you Europeans. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure for the PlayStation or the Dreamcast. The fighting game. Final Fantasy 1 for the NES. Professor Layton.
Professor Layton. The game is fantastic.
Yeah, because it's a puzzle game, kind of like Myst. And I love puzzle games.
Is there anything else you would like to say to the fans?
Thank you for those of you who came to see me at E3 and you let me, you took a picture with me. If I didn't get a picture with you, please understand that, something happened and I was not thinking straight. And if you guys have questions for me, please leave them in comments and I'll be sure to read this thread and make sure that I answer your questions. Thanks a lot. And thank you very much for actually doing this.
Thank you very much for creating JewWario, and you can play this and showing us games that we all can play. This is Justin Carmichael, I'm Mark Fujita, and this has been another Gaming Pipeline.